In November of 2020, amidst these COVID times, I was lucky enough to be awarded the True Young Explorer Scholarship from Heritage Expeditions. This scholarship allowed me to be a passenger on the Galapagos of the Southern Ocean Expedition, a trip around New Zealand's Subantarctic islands. Myself, along with 50 other passengers, arrived in Dunedin, nervous yet incredibly excited for what was to come. Our first stop was Nugget Point in the Catlins. I had never visited the Catlins before and quickly understood all of the praise the area received. All of the colours, the sand, the sea and the plants were so vibrant. It was truly an incredible place, one which I plan on travelling back to very soon. After a few more hours on the bus, with a lunch stop in between, we arrived at Southport and Bluff, ready to embark on our vessel. Due to unfavourable weather conditions, we changed the original plan for the expedition and headed straight to the Auckland Islands. This meant we were travelling through the roaring 40s for a full day, and unfortunately many people, including myself, had their first dose of seasickness. The next day, we all hopped in the Zodiacs and headed to Auckland Island. We could hardly wait to get back on land again and do some exploring. As we arrived, we were lucky enough to be greeted by a sea lion on the beach where we entered. This was the first time I had ever seen a sea lion this close in the wild before, so it was super exciting. Our guides took us for a tour of the hardwick settlement on Auckland Island. We also saw the rata trees and the engraved Victoria tree. The cemetery on the island held those who passed either in the shipwreck or whilst living on the island itself. Our next amazing adventure was Enderby Island. This was one of my favourite places we visited on the expedition. As we arrived on the beach, we were met with more sea lions than I had ever seen in my life, just chilling on the beach. As we began our walk around the island, other animals began to pop up. These included the skua flying in, and also the penguin running along the hills. This was the first time we had seen a penguin on the trip. The flora of Enderby Island was just as incredible as its fauna. Megaherbs like the Macquarie Island cabbage, Ross lily and Campbell Island carrot were also present on the island. It was incredible to see such beautiful plants, which are not present on mainland New Zealand. Further along the track, we were lucky enough to pass right by 2 more penguins. As we continued on our walk, we made it to the area where albatrosses were flying around above us. I had never seen albatrosses in real life before, so this was incredible to see them so close. It was amazing. Our next adventure involved an early morning wake up to see rockhopper penguins. But little did we know, another surprise awaited us. This early Zodiac cruise took us to some magical caves with the most crystal clear, beautiful water. After some travel time at sea, we arrived at Campbell Island. For myself, along with a few others, Campbell Island was another early morning wake up as we walked part of the island. The views from this island were phenomenal. We were also able to get super close to the albatrosses, as you'd be walking along and suddenly an albatross nest would pop out in front of you. The tussocks were also incredibly high, up to my shoulder at some points. It was on Campbell Island that I saw my first snipe, which was super cool. Whilst on this expedition, we were constantly told to be prepared for the cold, rainy weather the Subantarctic islands were known for. However, day after day, we were blessed with bright blue skies and sunny days. Our time in the Antipodes was no exception. The Antipodes showed us more penguins than we had ever seen before or could ever imagine. It was incredible. As the fog caught up with us, we got back on the ship and headed to my favourite place in the whole trip, the Bounty Islands. Again, the Bounties are known for their terrible weather. Intense rain and large crashing waves means that no plant life are found on the islands. Yet again we had a stroke of luck, and it was a sunny, beautiful day with blue skies and calm waters. The Bounties felt like you were in another world. The sheer number of birds circling overhead was immense, as well as those jumping in the water next to us, and thousands of penguins and fur seals on the rocks. It was amazing. Once we departed the Bounties, we headed for Ulva Island, a predator-free island off of Stewart Island. This was super cool to see how lush the island was due to its lack of predators. Overall, the trip was incredible, and I have come home with much more knowledge and appreciation for those places in New Zealand many Kiwis have never even heard of, yet alone visited.